go ahead and run the movie in your mind of the needle and what you experienced.
So I needed to get a B12 shot, but more than just a one-time thing. And so my doctor said, oh, well, you could do this at home. That way you don't have to keep coming back to the office. And so I said, oh, sure, that should be easy. And she kind of showed me what to do, and we did actually a shot there in the office that day. And
right.
then she sent me home with all the materials, and I thought, oh, this will be easy.
Right.
And then when the day came where actually the next day I had to give myself the shot and pull the needle out, and was like, I don't think I can do this. And so it was the reality of having to do it myself that kicked in, and it was like, okay, yeah. And then I thought, well, she didn't really give me a lot of explanation. Maybe I'll go look online and read a little more about like how to give yourself a shot. Right. And that made it actually even worse. It was like I got too much information.
The details.
Yes. And so then by that time I was really freaked out. And the B12 is an intramuscular, so it's a really long, skinny needle.
You stare at the needle stares back at you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I did do some EFT around it, and it brought it down to where my husband could give me the shot, but I still was not able to do it myself. After doing a couple of rounds on different aspects.
So given a movie title that is the title of the most triggering part of the event.
The long needle.
The long needle. And what number are you when you say the long needle?
If I was sitting there with the needle, and I had to, do it myself, it was probably an 8 or 9.
8 or 9, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the movie title, we'll just give it for right now, is The Long Needle.
Long needle.
It's 8 or 9. We'll just tap on just the title, Long Needle, okay. So even though I saw that long needle. I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I was scared seeing that long needle.
Even though I was scared seeing that long needle.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
Even though that needle was so long.
Even though that needle was so long.
Scary long.
Scary long.
Crazy long.
Crazy long.
Way too long.
Way too long.
I still love and accept myself.
I still love and accept myself.
Long needle.
Long needle.
Long needle. Long needle.
Long needle.
Keep tapping. Just what number are you now while you're tapping on the long needle? Just on the needle itself.
Long needle.
Long needle. The title.
Long needle. Long needle. Seems kind of silly.
Long needle.
Long needle.
Long needle.
Long needle.
So let's just check back in now. It seems as though when you finished the setup statement, you were dropping quite a bit. So, so say long needle. What number are you right now?
Maybe 3 or 4.
3 or 4. Okay. So 8 or 9 to 3 or 4. Okay. So say it again. The movie title again and again. Just whatever form it makes most sense for you. So it could be saying it long, or it could be really dramatizing in some way, but think of the movie title and tap. And so even though there was this
really long needle,
I deeply and completely
love and accept myself.
Good. A couple more times.
Even though there was...
Just, what do you know? What number you know after one time, one round? Long needle.
I think it's still 3 or 4.
3 or 4. Okay, good.
Even though there was this really long needle,
Right.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though there was this really, really, really long needle, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though there was this long needle, I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Good. Long needle.
Long needle.
Long needle.
Long
Very long needle.
Very long needle.
Very, very, very long needle.
Very, very, very long needle.
Too long.
Too long needle.
Way too long.
Way too long needle. Needle is really long.
Probably about 10, 20 feet.
Gigantic long.
So just on the title now, what is your number now?
Is it 1 or 2?
1, 2. Where's the 1, 2 in your body? Where do you feel it internally?
I feel it in my chest. That's where
Okay.
I hold most of my anxiety.
Not uncommon. So let's go ahead and run the whole movie. So start again. So you're in your doctor's office, and the doctor says, "Who's tap while you're doing it too?"
Okay.
Hurt?
No. It's the beginning of the day, so I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Let's see. The doctor said I should be able to do the B12 shots by myself at home, so that way I don't have to keep coming back into the office.
Did your numbers go up then? Were you a little bit anxious then, or did you? Okay. Just
No.
stop whenever you feel
Okay.
a rise in your sun level.
And I didn't think that would be a problem, so she showed me how to do the shot, and we did one there in the office. And
Okay. Oh, you did. Okay.
Didn't have any issues there.
With her doing it, or were you doing it?
With her
Her doing it.
doing
Okay.
well, she was kind of helping me
Okay,
do
okay.
it, but she was really doing it. My hand was there, but
You now realize
Yeah.
she's doing it. Yeah.
And so went home with the supplies and thought everything was fine until
Okay.
I got up the next morning and had to give myself a shot, and I pulled out that really long needle.
What number are you now thinking about that moment, pulling out that needle out of its case? And,
Now it's maybe 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's stick with that moment. Even though I pulled the needle out, what was it in? What was it encased in?
I basically had like a brown craft paper bag
Okay.
that she'd given me that had a supply of needles in it.
Okay.
And then it's wrapped up in a plastic thing so that it's never been used and hygienic, and you know that when you open it, it's a fresh needle.
Okay.
And so I think it's really the opening it and then taking the lid off so that the needle's actually exposed is the thing that's you're like, oh yeah, now I can see how long that needle is. So that's
Okay, so
probably
the needle's exposed.
yeah.
So just stick with that moment the needle's exposed. The needle's exposed now, and I deeply and completely accept myself.
So even though the needle's exposed now, I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I'm looking at the needle.
I'm looking at the needle.
I'm face to face with the needle.
I'm face to face with the needle.
Alone without the doctor.
Alone without the doctor.
And I realize this may not be as easy as she made it look.
Yeah, I realize this may not be as easy as she made it look.
And I love it and accept myself.
And I love and accept myself.
Looking at the needle.
Looking at the needle.
Looking at the needle.
Looking at the needle.
This might be harder than I thought.
This might be harder than I thought.
I wasn't expecting this.
I wasn't expecting this.
I thought it would be easy.
I thought it would be easy.
And here it's not easy.
And here it's not easy.
Long needle.
Long needle. Long needle.
Alone with a long needle.
Alone with the long needle.
Just the long needle and me.
Just the long needle and me.
No doctor, take care of me.
No doctor to take care of me.
Just me and the needle.
Just me and the needle.
Okay. So is the number going up or down or sideways, or what number is it now in your chest?
It's a 4.
It's a 4. Okay.
So it went down a little bit.
Got out a little bit. Okay. Okay. Now, one other aspect, I don't know if it's there, I'm just curious. There wasn't just one needle in that package. There were
Yeah.
several needles in the package.
Yes.
Was that triggering that there was a whole supply of needles there, not just one?
I don't think that was triggering
Okay.
in the beginning with this first,
Okay.
me trying to do it myself the first time. I think the next aspect that comes to mind is it's a really long needle, and I have a really tiny leg, and you're supposed to do it in your thigh muscle. And so it's like, this needle is like this long, and my leg's like only this big.
Might go all the way through.
So it's like, what if, you start thinking about, well, what if I you know, hit a vein or a bone or, you know, all these different things start going through your mind. So,
Let's tap on that. What if it hit a vein or a bone?
yeah, what if I hit a vein or a bone?
Yeah. This
Scary.
needle's long.
This needle's really long.
Might go all the way through.
It could all go all the way through.
The other leg. And it probably will hit a vein and a bone on the way up.
Yeah,
through.
it might hit a vein and a bone on the
Yeah.
way through.
It's going to be painful.
Could be painful.
May lead to death.
I might bleed to death. I don't know if I thought about that one, but
Let's just wrap it up. Death by needle.
death by needle.
The needle of doom.
Needle of doom.
That needle is so much bigger than my leg.
That needle is so much bigger than my leg.
Tiny leg, big needle.
Tiny leg, big needle.
Bad combination.
Bad combination.
Small leg, big needle.
Small leg, big needle.
The longer I look at that needle,
The longer I look at that needle,
the bigger it grows.
the bigger it grows, the
And
more
the small-
freaked out I get.
The more freaked out I get. The smaller my leg shrinks.
The smaller my leg.
My leg's shrinking, the needle's growing. I'm tapping, it's not working.
Yeah, I'm tapping, it's not working.
EFT, letting me down when I most need you.
EFT letting me down when I most need you. Darn you, EFT.
Darn you, EFT. I thought for sure I'd get through this with EFT, and it didn't work.
And it didn't work.
And I deeply and completely accept myself.
And I deeply and completely accept myself.
With the long needle.
With the long needle.
With my small leg.
With my small leg.
If EFT doesn't work.
Even if EFT doesn't work.
If it never works.
Even if it never works.
I still love and accept myself.
I still love and accept myself.
Fully and completely.
Fully and completely.
I have compassion on myself.
I have compassion on myself.
On my legs.
On my legs.
On my body.
On my body.
On my emotions.
On my emotions.
On my heart.
On my
I'm a
heart.
wonderful person.
I'm a wonderful person.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Whether or not I can do this needle thing.
Whether or not I can do this needle thing.
I love and accept
I
myself.
love and accept myself.
I might never do this needle thing.
I might never do this needle
I
thing.
might totally fail at this needle
I
thing.
might totally fail at this needle thing.
EFT might not ever work for me again.
EFT might not ever work for me again.
For anything.
For anything, I might lose faith.
I might lose faith. But I still love and accept
I
myself.
still love and accept myself.
Completely.
Completely.
Let me just take a breath or two.
Yeah, it seems kind of silly now.
So tune back into your heart. And this moment you're taking the needle out, there are other needles in the
Mhm.
package. You look at the needle, look at your leg. And what number are you?
Maybe it's a 3.
Maybe it's 3, okay.
If I start thinking about it again, it goes up a little bit.
Well, let's just do that. Let's not avoid thinking about it again, because we often try and suppress, deny, push away those feelings. We're experts at that. We're a lot less expert at really feeling our feelings and processing our feelings and letting those feelings flow through us. So let's just let your feelings flow. Be helpless in facing the needle if you want to be, because there's a chance that helpless voice, that scared voice that maybe never got heard properly, to be heard and be loved and be accepted by you and the whole of yourself, the whole of your psyche. So let's just tap on that. There are problems in my life bigger than me
There are problems in my life bigger than me
that EFT can't solve,
that EFT can't solve.
but I still love and accept
And I
myself.
still love and accept myself.
There are things I just can't seem to do,
There are things I just can't seem to do,
can't seem to master,
can't seem to master.
but I still love and accept
I
myself.
still love and accept myself.
There are big needles in my life,
There are big needles in my life,
and I think I can deal with them,
and I think I can deal with them.
and it's scary to discover I can't.
And it's scary to discover that I can't.
And I still love and accept myself,
And I still love and accept myself,
even when I can't deal with the big challenges of my life,
even when I can't deal with the big challenges in my life.
the big needle,
The big needles.
the big
The
challenges.
big challenges.
These big challenges,
These big challenges.
can't deal with them.
I can't deal with them.
EFT's not working.
EFT's not working.
All my best stuff isn't working.
All my best stuff isn't working.
I've learned all these techniques.
I've learned all these techniques.
Now they aren't working for me.
Now they aren't working for me.
I'm more freaked out.
I'm more freaked out.
I'm more freaked out
I'm more freaked out.
because they aren't working.
Because they aren't working.
And they usually do work.
And they usually do work.
So what's wrong now?
Now what's wrong?
Yeah.
It's not working.
Not working. Yeah. And I love and accept myself.
And I love and accept myself.
Even if none of it works,
Even if none of it works.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I love myself.
I love myself.
Even if I fail totally, I love myself.
Even if I fail totally, I love myself.
Even if I can never use a needle again.
Even if I can never use a needle again.
Even if none of my techniques work anymore.
Even if none of my techniques work anymore.
I'm still okay.
I'm still okay.
I accept myself fully and completely.
I accept myself fully and completely.
Okay, let's tap all the points again. Okay, so now just try and get upset about the big needle. Just think about the big needle, you look at the needle, and see if you can get a rise out of your cell. See if that number can go up bigger than 3.
When I think about that needle, I don't seem to be getting the rise, but I had a memory come back
Okay.
of an episode with a needle.
Oh, okay. What happened then?
So I broke my collarbone in 8th grade,
Okay.
and that was the 3rd bone I had broken. So I had broken some other bones, which means every time you break a bone, you have to get a tetanus shot, which is also an intramuscular needle with a really long needle. And so when I went in to the urgent care with the broken collarbone, in 8th grade I didn't like needles. I since don't mind if someone else is giving me a shot. But I was adamant, like, I've already had a tetanus shot, I don't need another tetanus shot, I know you're going to try and give me a tetanus shot. I don't want one. And of course, they don't have my medical records on file because it's urgent care. And so the nurse comes in and she's got like the white doctor's coat and she has her hand in her pocket. And I know that there's a needle in there for a tetanus shot.
Just tapping and talking. Okay.
So, but the thing is
What's the number now? Thinking about her with her hand in her pocket. That's really motive for you.
yeah, it's probably an 8.
Late, okay. Nurse with hand in pocket. Let's just treat that as a little scene in a movie. So,
Okay.
nurse, white coat, lab coat, hand in pocket, concealing a needle you
Yes.
can't see. She's trying to lie to you to
Yeah.
make you feel okay. Pretend that there's no big deal,
Yeah.
but you know what's in that pocket.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And then the crazy thing was, at this point, I haven't been x-rayed yet, so they don't know that my collarbone is broken, for sure. And her and my mother held me down to give me the shot. Yeah, so I was not a happy camper.
We'll review the characteristics of traumatizing events later on, but then this has, I think, three of the 4 right there. So it's a violation of expectations. The person who's supposed to be protecting you is now not doing what you expect them to be doing. So your mother and the nurse held you down.
With the broken collarbone.
Did that aggravate the pain in your collarbone?
I'm sure it probably did. It had to. I don't really remember that since I wasn't focused on that. I was focused on the needle.
Okay. So let's go ahead and work on that. We'll use the 9 Gallup routine on this one.
Okay.
So even though your mother and the nurse were holding you down, you were still very focused on the needle you the nurse had.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just go ahead and tap the Gallup point and vividly picture the nurse in her lab coat, her hand in her pocket. You know the needle's in there. And just give that little snippet a name, a reminder phrase. So what's your reminder phrase for
Let's say urgent care visit.
urgent care visit? Okay. Okay, and then the little piece where her hand, you saw her hand in her pocket. What's the name of that little sub-movie? Let's see.
I guess you could just say hand in pocket.
Hand in pocket, okay.
Yeah.
So do the 9 Gallup thinking about the hand in the pocket. So close your eyes and open them. Eyes hard down to the left, right. Now slowly in a big circle. Hand in pocket.
Hand in pocket.
Just follow my hand. Hand in pocket.
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 Hand in pocket. Hand in pocket.
Hand in
Stay focused there. Don't go away. Stay. Hand in pocket. Hand in pocket. Don't know what's coming next.
Don't know what's coming next.
It's bad.
But it's bad.
Hand in pocket.
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 Can't escape.
Can't escape.
Mother's holding me down.
Mother's holding me down.
Nurse is holding me down.
Nurse is holding me down.
I know it's in the nurse's pocket.
I know it's in the nurse's pocket.
It's not good.
It's not good.
It's going to hurt.
It's gonna hurt.
I don't want this to happen.
I don't want this to happen.
People are hurting me.
People are hurting me.
It's not good.
It's not good.
People hurt you.
People hurt you.
People you don't expect to hurt you still hurt you.
People you don't expect to hurt you still hurt you.
People hurt you.
People hurt you.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
Getting hurt by people
Getting hurt by people
who I think love me.
who I think love me.
Getting hurt by people.
Getting hurt by people.
Getting held back by people.
Getting held back by people.
Getting held down by people.
Getting held down by people.
Nurse's pocket.
Nurse's pocket.
Okay, let's go ahead and leave it at that. And take a couple of breaths and just tune back in.
It's probably 5.
5, okay. So you're picturing her hand in her pocket now? Okay. And then being held down by your mom and the nurse, what number are you around that?
I think that's a 7.
About a 7, okay. Well, let's go back to the start of that movie, the 8th grade movie. You broke your collarbone. And let's tap and talk. Let's stop when you get to a 3 or more.
Okay.
So it's 8th grade. I broke my collarbone.
Yeah, so in 8th grade I broke my collarbone riding a bike at my friend's house.
Okay.
And went to the urgent care. Knew they were going to give me a shot because I had been through this before. So I was very adamant that I didn't want to have the shot as soon as I got there. And then the nurse left the room and came back, and she had her hand in her pocket. And so I immediately knew that she had the shot in her hand in her pocket. And then she proceeded to basically take the shot out, and I started to have a fit, so that's when my mom helped her hold me down so that they could give me the shot. And I guess that's where I'm getting the emotionless for that part, that piece.
Okay. Mom holding you down. Okay. So what number are you around? Your mom, the nurse, holding you down.
Maybe a 6 now.
6. Okay. Where did she hold you? Your shoulders, your arms?
I don't really have a distinct memory of.
And where?
Yeah, it might have been my arms, because I think they give you the shot in your upper arm.
Okay.
for that one.
By your elbows then, or?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. So, even though my mom held me down,
Even though my mom held me down,
so the nurse could give me the shot,
so the nurse could give me the shot.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
My mother held me down,
My mother held me down,
so the nurse could give me the shot.
so the nurse could give me the shot.
Mother held me down.
Mother held me down.
I deeply love and accept
I
myself.
deeply love and accept myself.
Even though mother held me down,
Even though mother held me down,
I still love and accept
I
myself.
still love and accept myself.
Mother held me down.
Mother held me down.
Mother held me down.
Mother held me down.
I freaked out.
I freaked out.
I threw a fit.
I threw a fit.
Didn't want to do it.
I didn't want to do it.
Mother held me down.
Mother held me down.
Face points again. So mother held me down.
Mother held me down.
Threw a fit.
I threw a fit.
Knew it was coming.
I 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 knew it was coming.
Loudly. I knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming.
I threw a fit.
I threw a fit.
I didn't want to do it.
I didn't want to do it.
Mother held me down.
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 Yes, do a quick check-in with your body again and see how you are with mother holding you down.
I had less tension
Okay.
in my chest than I did.
Yeah, my guess is that, I wouldn't normally try and get you to a 0, because my guess is that, others don't want your mother holding you down, holding you back. Your mother may have coerced you in other ways. I mean, most parents do steer their kids in some way or another. So that's probably going to link you to a whole bunch of other movies.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I'd work on this one to get maybe a 3 or 4 or 2 and then move on. Because that feeling is probably associated with many other similar memories in your life. So when the nurse and the lab coat went down, your mother holding you down went up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was the next biggest thing for you. Yeah. So just give it a number though, in your chest, mother holding you down.
That'd be a 4 or 5 now.
4 or 5, okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and rewind and tell the story again, tapping all the time. And again, if you do a 3, just stop me.
Okay.
Okay. So you're at a friend's house, riding a bicycle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Went over the handlebars.
Right.
Broke my collarbone. 3rd broken bone. So my mom was actually already on her way to come get me. So she was already in the car, and this is before cell phones. So she didn't know until she got there.
Right.
That I had a broken collarbone, so we had to go to urgent care because it was, it was after hours.
Right.
And broken bones before, so I knew that they were going to want to give me a tetanus shot.
Right.
And so I was adamant when I came in that I didn't want the tetanus shot.
Right.
And the nurse left the room and came back in with her hand in her pocket of her coat. And I knew that she had a shot in there just waiting for me. And so basically she took the shot out, and I started throwing a fit. So my mom had to help kind of hold me down so that she could give me the shot in my arm. Yeah, it's still that same.
4 to 5, let's see, or less, more.
It might be a little bit less.
Okay.
It might be a 3 to 4 now, but it's
Okay.
still when I get to that same spot.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what it is, yeah. Now, I was listening closely, and it seemed as though some of the other words were less highly charged than they were before to you. Yeah. So just finish the little movie and go to the end of the scene. So you got the shot.
Yeah, so I got the shot, and then I think is when they did the x-rays. My memory
okay.
is that they gave me a shot before. I mean, it may have been obvious that the bone was broken just looking at me, but they hadn't actually done the x-rays yet.
Right.
So after getting the shot, then I went in and got the x-rays. And then after that came out, and they basically you get a really lame splint. They can't do much for a broken collarbone. I was kind of thinking, like, am I have to get a whole body cast? Like, how do they do this? But
right.
yeah, you wear a splint and a sling so that your arm movement isn't bothering it.
Okay.
The broken bone, but they can't really do very much.
Any intensity around the splint? Or worry about the body cost, or any big numbers there? So let's go back to the long needle again experience. So go ahead and tell that movie again from the beginning, the neutral point.
Okay.
So you get back home.
Get back home with my bag of supplies and think I'm going to be all ready to go. And
So let me get to a 3 or more in the story
Okay.
now. Okay. Just keep tapping.
And then the next morning comes time for me to, you should do B vitamins in the morning.
Okay.
Because they can make you energetic. So
Oh,
I was
okay.
doing the shot first thing in the morning, and got out the supplies, got out the needle, unwrapped it, took the cap off of it, and had to, you have to actually fill it up so it doesn't come
Oh,
pre-filled.
okay,
So you actually have to
right.
like put the medicine in the needle. And then when it came time for me to actually have to do it and poke myself in my leg, I just could not do it. It's a really long needle. So then I went and thought, well, maybe if I had more information,
Right.
like the scientific mind, maybe if I read something about how to give yourself a shot, it would be easier. And that actually made it worse. Because one of the things that was in the information I read online was that you should actually, take alcohol and like swab off the spot first before you use the needle.
Right.
And the doctor hadn't told me that or showed me that, and so I thought, well, maybe she didn't tell me everything that I should know.
Terrible side effects of all this.
Yeah. So I think that's what kind of elevated it even more at that point. Was like, she left that part out, so maybe she missed something else that I should have known in the whole process of giving myself a shot.
Okay, then you got your husband, and he just picked up on that part then. So you looked online.
Yeah. So basically, at that point, I called my husband and said, "I can't do this, so you're gonna have to do it for me tomorrow morning." But by this time I had done some EFT around it. So the next morning he was actually able to give me the shots, and I didn't have any issues.
Okay, so
until we did that for a while, and then we had one where when he actually gave me the shot, it hurt
right.
when it went in, and it bled more afterwards. So we probably actually did get some kind of larger blood vessel at that time. And then I developed a huge bruise after that.
Where that needle got in.
Mm-hmm. And
right.
so then I was like, I'm done. So because when someone else is giving me the shot, it doesn't really hurt.
Right.
It's not that bad. It's just me not being able to do it myself.
Right.
But that time when he did it, it actually did hurt. And so then I was like,
that's it.
yeah, I'm done.
That's
and then a day later I had a big bruise.
I'll go to the hospital from now on. Let the nurse do it.
Yeah.
Let the doctor do it. Yeah. Yeah. So were you over 3 any time during that series of memories, that movie?
Maybe when I was talking about the shot hurting.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a new movie you'd work on. Also, I would recommend working on Fear of the Unknown, because you seem to have a rise. You talked about the alcohol swab. You went online, and then the doctor didn't tell me about the alcohol swab. What else did she tell me about? So that's Fear of the Unknown, and people you think are supposed to help you hurting you, and also your husband giving you the injection later on, and that hurting. So again, there's a bit of an echo of your mom holding you down. It's what I think is supposed to help me, it's going to hurt me. Or the nurse with her hand in her. So there may be common characteristics that work with the other sub-aspects there. So, but you did great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'm done with the shots now, but if I need to do it again, it'll be a good test. I do actually have extra needles left over, but I can pull the needle out and see, just looking at it, if
What do you want tomorrow? We'll see.
Okay, I'll do that.
Good.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again.